And now it's time for another thrilling adventure with Team Digital Preservation. Hi guys! Say, aren't your Digi-niece and Digi-nephew visiting this weekend, Digiman?
Affirmative. I've sent them on an Arctic mountain adventure.
Gee, isn't that awfully dangerous, DM?
Fear not. In the time-honored tradition, I've handed down to them the Adventure Survival Pack. I've used it in countless adventures. Never in an Arctic adventure, mind you. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Gadzooks! I'm not sure this has been planned so well, Digiman. You said you were going to give the Adventure Survival Pack an overhaul. Would you be as confident if you were dealing with, say, digital objects?
Hades! Hard drive! What have I done?
Preservation planning is the first and most important thing I would do when preserving digital objects. By creating a plan for objects, I could ensure that they will be accessible in the future. I would document who took which decision and why. Following a standardized approach has the benefit that an auditor can verify you followed best practices. But I've given the children a survival plan that's confusing to say the least. With digital objects, I would need to measure all the important things that can go wrong with them to make sure they don't. Of those things that could go wrong, I would ascertain if it could be a problem or not. In this real-life analogy, I never anticipated that the food rations within the survival pack were due to expire. For digital objects, I would specify and document their significant properties. I would want to know what actually happens to the objects I am responsible for, and make sure that all the properties that are important are preserved properly. Only this way could I ensure that I am trustworthy, and don't betray the trust of those who will need the objects in the future. I neglected to document a significant property of the survival pack's laser cannon. It can't be used in sub-zero temperatures! With digital objects, I would remember that significant properties depend on the objects, the users, and the scenario that I'm looking at. I would make sure to understand the situation and get it right. But for the children, it's too late. By now, my trusted wards will have surely perished. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. From now on, I promise to take as much care in the preservation of your lives as I would with digital information. If I had been dealing with digital objects, I could have used the magnificent preservation planning tool Plato, designed by those fine people at Planets. Coincidentally, Plato has a polar bear as its logo. HEI, that's all. Digiman has learned a valuable lesson about the importance of proper planning in both the digital and physical world. And remember, preservation planning is the first and most important aspect of digital preservation. Specify and document the significant properties of your digital objects so that you can measure all the properties that are important have been preserved properly. And understand your context. You can't apply the same approach to all your digital objects. Find out more about Plato at www.planets-project.eu/Plato and join us next time for another thrilling adventure with Team Digital Preservation.